Welcome to Half a Point, the podcast where one of us can't stop fading Hawks and one of us can't stop playing Hawks. To my demise, I've been the one that's fading them. We'll see how we go this week.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, 3-1 week for me, 2-2 for Cuss. Cuss, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be back.
Good to
Another
be
week of
back.
finals. Yep.
Yep, it's ramping up. And you may notice a third gentleman sitting with us today. Special guest Sehan Jaywira, another member of our esteemed competition, Sehan Jaywira, our first special guest. What an honor. How you doing? Welcome.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
All right, mate. This is going to go down in the record books, mate. Sehan Jaywira, first guest. Huge. Decided to color coordinate with one of the hosts as well. Unbelievable.
My bad.
Crazy.
Didn't get the memo.
Yeah,
No.
someone did.
So welcome everyone. Of course, please leave a like on the video and please subscribe to our new up and coming YouTube channel. As we say every week, plenty of things in the works for a huge season next season. But as we come to the end of this season, please show us your support. We really appreciate it. Okay, let's recap last week, fellas. Week one, Port Adelaide versus Geelong. Geelong absolutely thump them. If only one of us could call it here at Half Point. Oh, that's right, I did. Called Geelong to upset them. And yeah, they just came in and demolished them, like sort of the same way that it went with the Freo game, except they won by a lot more. It sort of got ugly at the end there as well. Port Adelaide only put up 54 points, pretty pathetic in a final. I've been saying this. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks that Port Adelaide are pretenders, and then they
Yeah.
kept covering, and now finally, this is what I was talking about. This is
Here
exactly
we
what I was talking
are.
about. I'm glad
They've arrived.
exactly that they've reached their finals form. So, yep. Want to know their good start. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that game, fellas?
Demolished, mate.
Yeah.
Absolute mauling there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, only two people expected Geelong to cover the line,
Yeah.
and I don't think anyone told I don't think anyone told Port that the game was on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and also just one comment that I wanted to make was Zach Butters being subbed out at halftime was an absolute cop-out call, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like I saw some rumors circulating where they it may have been tactical in hopes to verse the doggies in the semi-finals, but now they're up against the Hawks. I don't know if how true that is, but yeah.
I don't
Something
even know
Port would
what
do.
that conspiracy theory is. I've never heard of that. I actually I disagree. I think they should have subbed Butters. He won the best courageous player award, didn't he, or something like that? Like he must have been hurting if he was genuinely not going to impact on the ground, then yeah, sub him off. Yeah, he must have been pretty tired. But yeah, fair enough. Another note which I forgot to mention last week: Thursday night dogs. The Thursday night dogs continued. They were gone for a few weeks there. But they
Yeah.
finished the season officially 11-3. So just another one of those reasons why I jumped on Geelong last week. No more Thursday nights for the rest of the season. So maybe that one to pick up on at the start of next season. Moving on
hmm
to the Western Bulldogs and the Hawks. Look, I'm actually not too bad about this one. Cuz I'll let you break the game down and then I'll give you my thoughts.
Oh, look, it was the mighty Hawthorn, eh? I told you, they never let me down. How many weeks
Yep.
have I backed them and they
Yep.
just always pull through?
Yep.
It was a good game. Like, I don't think doggies were really in it after maybe like quarter time. They were
Yep.
just, yeah, outplayed all aspects of the game.
Yep.
And yeah, easy win there by 37 points. So
Exactly. So that I said it's not going to be that transition game. I said it's going to be slow, contest to contest, and that's exactly what happened, except for one quarter. And then
yeah,
after that, Hawks just outlasted the doggies. I think it's the
yeah,
same. It's the same thing that the Saints do every week. Like that's why Saints can't score as much. The doggies sort of been put into that same system this week. That's why they
yeah.
couldn't score. They couldn't get past into their inside 50s. So yeah, Hawks outlasted them. Yeah, fair enough to them. Dan, what are your thoughts on
Mm,
that game?
Yeah, I mean, what an upset by the Hawks. Put the
Yeah.
doggies away. I feel like, doggies are one of the most explosive teams.
Mm,
But year after year, they've been letting us down heading into finals.
mm.
But I hope the script is written for Bond to finally win his Brownlow. I've got my fingers crossed for that one.
Yep.
But
yeah,
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 Yeah, just
um, and
yep.
and yeah, just one quick shout out to Kel Shadir. What a superstar!
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's a
yeah,
gun, eh?
yeah.
Made
He's
his
a
mark. Yeah,
Yeah, debuted in the regular season game against the Western Bulldogs, and I've pretty much he's played almost every game since, I think. So yeah,
Hmm.
fair enough to him as well. With Bont's Brownlow, there's a guy called Nick Dacos in the way, so
Oh,
we'll
okay.
see, we'll see,
Also a
we'll
bloke
see.
called Paddy Cripps lingering around.
Okay.
Okay, buddy.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, that was a domination by the Hawks in the end. So
Yeah.
yeah, huge win. Yeah, moving on, Sydney Giants. Perfectly called here at half a point. I said Sydney would win close, but Giants cover, which is exactly what happened. Didn't really go the way I thought it would. But we said Sydney can score very quickly, which is exactly what happened. Probably easily the best game of the weekend. Giants really should have won. They really controlled most of that game. Sydney really couldn't get anything going offensively. Shut down Goulden, shut down Warner, shut down Heaney for the first half, and then Heaney just put the Swans on his back. The tall forwards for the Swans just absolute non-factors. Once again, they actually. I don't if you can't score goals in this system, then where can you score goals, right?
Mm.
But yeah, unbelievable game. It's just yeah the best players separated the game. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good finals game. Probably
yeah,
like the only good finals game,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah, Sydney was one of my actual Sydney was my like secure pick. I was confident that they were gonna cover
Mm,
the line, but they left it too late. Left it too late
yeah,
to come
Yeah,
back, and then
they
just
did.
fell short.
yeah. Um, Yeah, finally, Brisbane Carlton. Casa, break this one down for us, please. Please tell us what happened.
What's there to break down, mate? 60-0 is crazy. What the
Can I ask you a question?
fuck?
Can I ask you a question? At what point were you like, this is over?
It was like 30.
Yeah,
Bro, I was like, surely we're gonna score here. It was just non-stop.
yeah,
I don't know what was happening. It was an absolute mess of a game. Great way to go out. Set some records as well. I think it was like first time since 1970 or something. It was a quarterless. The first quarter there was no
yeah,
scoring. So
yeah.
yeah, good to
Despite
be a
that,
part of history.
yeah,
Yeah,
despite that, you're only less than a goal from covering. So
yeah,
pretty crazy. Like they
crazy.
got very
I
close
know.
in the end and could have actually covered, which would have been the
Yeah,
miracle cover of the year. They actually played.
honestly though, yeah.
Yeah, they played quite well in the second half, but yeah, the Lions end up covering. Sohan, do you have thoughts on that game?
I don't know why I went for Carlton. I saw a whole bunch of players were coming back, and I just hoped it would be a tighter contest.
Yeah.
But again, just like Sydney, left it till too late to cover the
Mm.
line. But yeah, after all that smack talk, Carlton ends up winning the same amount of finals as Essendon this year.
Oh,
Don't worry, we'll have a 20-year anniversary this year.
bit of tension in the air here. Love it, love it. All right, so we'll go back to those Rockos which I alluded to earlier. So I went 3-1, so I'm 70-54 ATS. Cusk goes 2-2, 58 and 66 ATS. Sehan, after going 5-0 last week, you go 0-4 this week. So you're 61 and 63. Not bad, just under 500. But yeah, what happened there?
Look, I try and do research. I try and look at the lineups, look at who's in versus who's out, and also like when did they play last? Because
Yes.
if you play on a Sunday, you're going to be tired on a Friday or
Yep.
Saturday, that kind of thing. Yeah, you're going to be quicker to fatigue, right? But yeah, I don't know. You can do as much research as you want, and the game will just flip on his head, just
Yeah,
like the
man.
first game.
Yeah.
Like I love looking at all these numbers during the whole week, and then at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of guys kicking around an oblong ball. Like
Yeah,
that
exactly,
that's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So now we'll jump into this week's slate of games. So we have Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn at the Adelaide Oval. Port are 8.5 point dogs, starting in approximately 20 odd minutes. The last time they played was in round 10, where at Adelaide Oval, where Port were 30.5 point favorites. They didn't cover. They weren't close to it. The Hawks should easily won that game, and then Burn Jones slotted one with 30 seconds left to give Port the lead after they were down by like 40 odd. So pretty crazy game their first time around. That's obviously another one of those shocking Hawk performances earlier on when they were starting to make their run. So Sehan, who are you going with?
Yeah, so look, I had the Hawks walk. I think everyone had the Hawks walking into the finals as the dark horse. And after last week's performance, I think they've secured their place as they've confirmed that they should be here. Port has they've no sorry they've got no Dan Houston this week and no Ryan Burton as well, but they're bringing Todd Marshall. I'm not sold, so I'm sticking with the Hawks to cover the line. Yeah, that's my pick.
Fair enough. Going with the Hawks, Cuss.
Yeah, look, like you said, they lost by 1 point last time they played. Pressures on Hinkley and Port, like the way they're playing these finals games is just shocking. So all the pressures on them, where and you look at Hawthorn, for example, just the way that they're playing their free flowing footy, it's actually like so good to watch. And yeah, like Sehan said, in terms of like teams, they brought in Marshall, who's played one game in the past like 2 months. And they've dropped Dixon just half an hour ago or so.
Mhm.
And yeah, they've lost Burton. So yeah, he's done pretty well in the defense. So yeah, I think just I'm going with Hawthorn as well. They've done me well. I think one more week and they're gonna cover me for this week at least.
Oh boy, this game racked me. Like, what do I do? Do I
Yeah.
fade Hawthorn again? Yes, I do. Give me Port Adelaide to win outright against the Hawks. I can't believe you guys are picking the Hawks. This is a terrible pick. You're giving me Port Adelaide as a home dog. Are you serious in the finals? I know they're going out in straight sets before, but they were favorites in all those matchups, right? So they were sort of expected to win. This time they're playing with house money. Ginnivan's thing is another one, just giving them a little bit of bulletin board material. Yeah, give me Port and the points. They're definitely going to cover giving over a goal. It's just ridiculous. The love's gone way too far on this Hawthorn team. If I get burnt again, man, I don't know. If I get burnt again, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, Port is definitely the play here. Like it's a home dog. Like I'm not gonna take a home dog in a final. Yeah, Hinkley playing for his job. Yeah, and also the last time they were blown out by that much was the Brisbane game, and then the week after that they came back and covered. So bit of history of this season on my side. As I said, I know I've been shit talking Port for weeks and weeks and weeks and fading them, but yeah, I think now hopefully the hate's gone too far on them. I'm getting a really good number. It's open around 4.5. All the money's coming in on Hawthorn. So I guess that's good signs for you guys. But Port's definitely the side here to cover, and I'm saying they're going to win. All
Yeah,
right.
fair enough.
Yep. Fucking hell. Fading Hawthorn. I have to do it. Next game on the slate, the Giants versus the Lions. So that's a Saturday night game at NG Stadium. So they've played a couple of times this season. Um, First at Manuka, where Giants were 2.5 point favorites, and it was pretty close in the first half, and then they ended up blowing them out. And then secondly, most recently, I think at the Gabba, where Brisbane were 24.5 point favorites. They blitzed them in the first quarter, and then Giants just dominated the rest of the game and ended up winning by 18, and obviously covering. So, Cuss, who are you going with for this one?
Yeah, like you said, two big wins for the Giants the last couple of times they've played, both home and on the road, and more importantly, they've covered as well. So, yeah, Bedford comes in this week and will likely do a number on Neil, reduce his impact a little bit, whereas the Lions have sort of remained unchanged. This one was pretty hard to split for me, just given like how well they shut down the Blues last week, which I don't know, depending on who you are, might not be that hard. But no, I've gone with the Giants here. Just based off previous games, just how they've covered past two times that they played, and won the game as well. So yeah, give me the Giants here.
Sehan?
Yeah, look, GWS are playing at home. The series head to head between the two Giants have taken them both. I love the way the Giants work. I think they're a very well-oiled machine, and I think they have the right pieces to shut down the Lions mid and their front line. Toby Bedford, as Custom said, is back in the lineup. I'm hoping he's on Lockie Neal, but could be on Hugh McLuggage or even Dane Zorko.
Mm.
Uh, and I think towards the end of the season, GWS had the tougher run compared to Brisbane. So for that reason, I'm going to keep with the trend of the season series and say GWS wins and covers the line.
Yep, fair enough. I'm actually also on the Giants as well, so not much difference here. Yeah,
Yeah.
so for me, it was the only pause, the reason you'd pick the Lions here would be based on their finals track record. So mainly last season, but then I thought look back to those last season games. So the qualifying final, they beat Port, who I've said are pretenders for months and months, and then they beat Carlton, coming off two huge emotional wins. It's like, okay, sure. So I think that there's a bit of smoke and mirrors about the last year Brisbane's finals run, whereas the Giants, I just feel like a lot tougher, just a lot tougher, harder team. And
Yep.
just when the game gets close, who do you trust to kick better, like Jesse Hogan or sort of Danaher or Pickwood or anything like
Mm.
that? Probably Hogan and like Toby Green and Caleb Daniel. Oh, okay, no, Brent Daniels. Right. So yeah, I just even that last week against Carlton, when Carlton sort of made what a little comeback that was. They got tight and they started missing easier shots when they had such a huge lead. So that sort of solidified this pick for me. Again, I'm more confident about the Port one than this one, but give me the Giants to win and cover as well. Yeah. All
Yep.
right. Wonderful.
Damn.
So game starting in approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, huge slate. So we're opposing on the first one. If I get burnt again, I don't know how I'm gonna show my face next week. But yeah, I'm back in. This is the only time they've been dogs, right? Every other
Yeah,
time they've
yeah.
gone out, they've been favorites. So yeah. Final thoughts, Cass?
Well, look, it's gonna be a good contest this week. I reckon the games will be a lot closer. So yeah, hoping for a good contest here.
Yeah, exactly. Sehan, final thoughts?
Yeah, same here. Same thoughts here. I just hope for two good games.
Yeah,
Yeah, a few games last week were a little bit of a letdown. So
yeah.
bring on the footy.
Bring it on. Well done. All right. So thank you everyone. Once again, please leave a like. Please subscribe. Really appreciate it. Cass, thanks for joining. Sehan, of course, a huge thank you to you for joining us. Yeah, really good to have everyone on, and we'll keep that going as well. All right.
Yep,
Thank you for
absolutely.
joining, and see you later.
Thanks for
See you
having me, guys.
later.
See ya.